Everyone dreams of being loved by millions, of building an empire from nothing, of having the world hang on your every word. But what happens when you get everything you thought you wanted, only to discover it is slowly killing the person you used to be? Maya Chen had 7 million followers who worshipped her. She owned a beauty empire worth hundreds of millions. She was living the dream that every young creator chases, but somewhere between viral fame and global success, she stopped being a person and became a product. Her own creation became her prison, and escape meant losing everything: her fortune, her influence, her carefully constructed identity. This is the story of what happens when you win everything and lose yourself. When the price of staying on top becomes higher than the cost of falling, when you must choose between the life everyone envies and the soul you barely remember having. Fracture, a creator's downfall. Chapter 1. The Golden Cage. Maya Chen stared at the notification on her phone. 7.2 million followers. The number that had once filled her with euphoria now felt like a weight crushing her chest. Outside her penthouse window, Los Angeles sprawled beneath her, glittering with the same artificial beauty that had become her prison. "You are late," snapped Victoria, her manager, bursting through the door without knocking. "The Luxe Beauty executives have been waiting for 20 minutes. Maya did not move from her position, curled on the Italian leather sofa. The same sofa featured in Architectural Digest when they had done a spread on young moguls who rule social media. That was 6 months ago, before everything started unraveling. "I cannot do this anymore, Vic." "You cannot do what? Make millions of dollars talking about lipstick? Poor you." Victoria's voice dripped with the kind of sarcasm that had made her one of Hollywood's most feared talent managers. "Get up. Put on your face. Smile for the camera. It is literally your job." But Maya's job had become something else entirely. Somewhere between her first viral video and building her beauty empire, she had stopped being a person and became a brand. A perfectly curated, surgically enhanced, always-on brand that generated more revenue in a month than most people saw in a lifetime. The irony was not lost on her. She had started making makeup tutorials to help other girls feel beautiful. Now she could not leave her house without a full glam squad, because her natural face had been dissected by millions of strangers online. "Maya." Victoria's tone softened slightly. "The Luxe deal is worth 8 figures. This meeting determines whether your next product line launches globally or gets shelved. You can have your breakdown after we secure the bag." Maya closed her eyes and felt tears threatening to ruin the $300 lashes her makeup artist had applied 3 hours ago. In the beginning, crying had been acceptable content. Real talk videos about struggles and authenticity had driven engagement through the roof. Now crying was a luxury she could not afford. Every emotion had to be calculated, every vulnerability monetized. She stood up, smoothed her designer dress, and became Maya Chen trademark once again. Chapter 2. The Machine. The Luxe Beauty boardroom felt like a chrome and glass cathedral dedicated to capitalism. Maya sat across from 5 executives who looked at her the way collectors examined rare artifacts. Valuable, but ultimately just another asset to be leveraged. "Your Q3 numbers were concerning," said Richard Hartwell, Luxe's CEO, sliding a tablet across the mahogany table. "Engagement is down 18%. Your last product launch underperformed by 30%. The Gen Z demographic is moving toward micro-influencers." Maya had built her empire by being the girl next door, who happened to be really good at makeup. But the girl next door could not afford a Beverly Hills mansion, a fleet of luxury cars, and a staff of 12. Success had transformed her into the very thing her audience had originally loved her for not being. "I think we need to pivot," Maya said, her media-trained voice steady despite the panic clawing at her throat. "Maybe go back to basics, more authentic content." The executives exchanged glances. Victoria shot her a warning look. "Authentic does not scale," said Jennifer Walsh, head of influencer partnerships. "We need guaranteed returns. Your lifestyle content performs better than tutorials now. Luxury hauls, exotic vacations, designer collaborations, that is what sells products." Maya remembered when a $15 drugstore palette had felt like a splurge. Now she was contractually obligated to feature products that cost more than most people's rent. Her audience had evolved too. Less interested in learning techniques, more interested in living vicariously through her wealth. What if I do not want to do lifestyle content anymore? The words escaped before Maya could stop them. The room fell silent. Victoria's face went pale. Then you will be in breach of your contract, Richard said calmly, which would trigger a liquidated damages clause of approximately $40 million. Maya's empire had not just imprisoned her, it had made escape financially impossible. Chapter 3. The Cracks. The scandal started with a screenshot. Maya had been at dinner with friends, actual friends, not influencer acquaintances or business partners, for the first time in months. She had laughed at something genuinely funny, forgot she was in public, forgot that her face was her business. Someone had captured the moment on their phone. Maya, mid-laugh, without perfect lighting or professional makeup, looking exactly like what she was, a tired 24-year-old who had built an empire before learning who she actually was underneath it all. The photo went viral with the caption, "Beauty guru Maya Chen, looking rough without her glam squad grimacing face emoji. Hashtag no filter. Hashtag reality." Within hours it had been shared millions of times. Commentary channels dissected every perceived flaw. The comments were brutal. This is why you cannot trust beauty influencers. She has been catfishing us for years. Natural Maya is terrifying. No wonder she needs all that makeup. Maya locked herself in her bedroom, while her crisis management team worked overtime. Her assistant fielded calls from tabloids offering 6 figures for exclusive interviews about her real face. Brands started having urgent conversations about their partnerships. But the worst part was not the cruelty of strangers. It was seeing the photo and barely recognizing herself. When had she become so afraid of her own natural face? When had existing without performance become scandalous? "We can spin this," Victoria said during an emergency meeting. "Get you a sympathy arc. Talk about the pressure of beauty standards. Make it about female empowerment. You want me to monetize my own breakdown? I want you to survive it." Maya looked around the conference room at her team: publicists, lawyers, brand managers, social media coordinators, 15 people whose livelihoods depended on keeping Maya Chen trademark profitable. She was responsible for their mortgages, their kids' college funds, their career trajectories. The machine she had built was too big to stop, even if it was eating her alive. Chapter 4. The Unraveling. The panic attack happened during a live stream with 3 million viewers watching. Maya was demonstrating a new eyeshadow palette when her heart started racing. The studio lights felt like they were burning her skin. The comments scrolling by became a blur of demands and criticisms. "Do a smoky eye." "Why does your skin look different today?" "Fake eyelashes are so 2020. "You look tired, Queen." First, Maya's voice caught. Her hands shook as she reached for the water bottle just out of frame. "I need to." The comments exploded. "She is having a breakdown live." "This is awkward." "Someone screen record this." "Drama alert incoming." Maya tried to continue, muscle memory taking over as she applied eyeshadow with trembling hands, but her breathing became ragged. The room started spinning. "I am sorry," she whispered, and ended the stream. Within minutes, clips of her breakdown were trending on every platform. Mental health became the new discourse topic. Commentary channels debated whether viewers had a right to see influencers' real struggles or if consumption of trauma was exploitation. Maya did not see any of it. She was in her bathroom, hyperventilating while Victoria pounded on the door, shouting about damage control. Chapter 5. The Fall. The investigative article came out on a Tuesday morning. "The Dark Side of Beauty: How Maya Chen Built an Empire on Lies" was the headline that destroyed everything. The journalist had done her homework. Interviews with former employees revealed the toxic culture Maya's success had created. 16-hour workdays, employees afraid to take sick days, interns working for exposure while Maya's company generated millions in revenue. Former friends spoke about how fame had changed her, how she had ghosted relationships that did not serve her brand, how she had become calculating and cold. The article painted a picture of someone who had lost her humanity in pursuit of influence. But the most damaging revelations were about her business practices, undisclosed partnerships that violated FTC guidelines, products promoted as game-changing that she had never actually used, a pattern of misleading her audience for profit. "We can fight this," Victoria said. but her voice lacked conviction. Hire a team of lawyers, discredit the sources. Maya sat in her empty mansion. Most of her staff had quit via email that morning, reading comment after comment from people who had once worshipped her. "I cannot believe I looked up to you. You stole money from your fans. Fake beauty guru gets exposed. This is why I have trust issues." The worst comments came from young girls who said Maya's content had made them hate their natural faces, spend money they did not have, and believe that their worth was tied to their appearance. Maya had become everything she had originally stood against. Chapter 6. Rock Bottom. The lawsuit notifications started arriving within a week. Breach of contract from brands, fraud allegations from business partners, employment violations from former staff. Maya's legal team estimated her potential liability at over $100 million more than her entire net worth. Her social media following hemorrhaged. 7 million became 6 million, then 5, then 4. Sponsors pulled out overnight. YouTube demonetized her channel. Banks froze her accounts pending investigation. Maya's mother flew in from Seattle, finding her daughter hiding in the master bedroom she had once proudly featured in house tour videos. "When did you eat last?" her mum asked, opening the blackout curtains Maya had been hiding behind for days. "I do not remember." "Maya, look at me." Her mother's voice carried the authority that had guided Maya through childhood, scraped knees and teenage heartbreaks. "What happened to my daughter?" Maya looked in the mirror across from her bed, the same mirror where she had practiced her first makeup tutorial 8 years ago. The reflection showed a stranger. Hollow cheeks, dark circles, brittle hair from constant styling. She had become a Halloween version of the girl who had just wanted to share her love of beauty with the world. "I do not know," Maya whispered. "I do not know who I am anymore." Her mother sat on the bed, pulling Maya into the kind of hug that had been impossible when every moment was scheduled, every interaction calculated for content potential. "You are my daughter," she said simply. "Everything else is just noise." But Maya was not sure that was enough anymore. Chapter 7. The Reckoning. Maya's final video was not planned by her team, was not scripted by writers, was not lit by professionals. She filmed it on her phone, sitting on the floor of her childhood bedroom in Seattle, makeup-free and wearing one of her dad's old sweaters. "I need to tell you the truth," she began, looking directly into the camera for the first time in years instead of reading from a teleprompter. "Not my brand's truth, not my team's truth, but my truth." For 47 minutes, Maya dismantled her own mythology. She talked about the loneliness of performing happiness for millions of strangers, the way success had isolated her from genuine relationships, how building an empire had cost her soul. She apologized, not the media-trained non-apology her crisis team would have crafted, but a real acknowledgement of harm caused to employees she had overworked, to young fans she had influenced toward unhealthy beauty standards, to anyone who had trusted her when she was not being trustworthy. "I became everything I used to criticize," she said, tears streaming down her face. "I told you beauty came from within, while selling you the idea that you needed products to be worthy. I preached self-love while hating myself. I built a business on authenticity while living as a complete fake." The video went viral, but not in the way Maya's content usually did. Instead of celebration or hate, the response was complex. Some people appreciated her honesty. Others felt it was too little, too late. Many debated whether redemption was possible for someone who had caused such widespread harm. Maya did not read the comments. She was done letting strangers define her worth. Chapter 8. After the Empire. 2 years later, Maya Chen worked at a small non-profit in Portland, helping young people develop healthy relationships with social media. She lived in a studio apartment, drove a used Honda, and had not worn makeup in 8 months. Her legal battles had been settled. She had lost almost everything but avoided criminal charges. The mansion was gone, the cars repossessed, the company dissolved. Victoria had moved on to representing the next generation of influencers, the cycle beginning again with fresh faces and familiar promises. Maya's phone buzzed with a text from Jess, her college roommate who had stayed loyal through everything. "Saw your interview in Portland Monthly. Proud of you." The interview had been Maya's first media appearance since her downfall. She had talked about her work with teenagers, helping them understand that social media was a highlight reel, not reality. teaching them skills she had never learned: how to set boundaries, how to value themselves beyond external validation, how to create without needing an audience's approval. "Do you miss it?" the interviewer had asked. "The fame, the money, the influence?" Maya had considered the question seriously. "I miss the girl who started making videos because she genuinely wanted to help people feel beautiful. But I do not miss the machine we built around her. That machine nearly killed us both." Now Maya was learning to be human again. She had started painting watercolors that no one would ever see, created purely for the joy of creation. She had joined a hiking group where people knew her as Maya, the non-profit worker, not Maya, the disgraced influencer. She was dating someone, a teacher named David, who had never seen her videos and liked her best in the morning when her hair was messy and her face was bare. "You seem happier," her mother observed during their weekly phone call. "I am," Maya said, surprised to realize it was true. "I am poor and anonymous and probably unemployable in my old industry, but I am happy." "Money and fame could not make you happy?" "They made me successful," Maya said, "but they made me successful at being someone I never wanted to be." Epilogue: The Mirror. Maya's story became a case study in business schools and psychology courses, a cautionary tale about the cost of building identity around external validation. She occasionally spoke at conferences about digital wellness, always emphasizing that her experience was just one story among many. Some former fans never forgave her. Others found inspiration in her willingness to lose everything rather than continue living a lie. Most forgot about her entirely, their attention captured by newer, shinier influencers, making similar promises with similar results. But Maya had learnt something that eluded most people who chased viral fame: the difference between being seen and being known, between building an empire and building a life, between success and fulfillment. Late at night in her small apartment, Maya sometimes looked in the mirror and saw traces of the terrified girl who had first pressed record 8 years ago. But she also saw someone new, someone who had survived the destruction of everything she thought she wanted, and discovered that losing herself had been the first step toward finding out who she actually was. The girl in the mirror smiled back. No camera recording, no audience watching, no brand to maintain. Just Maya, finally free to be exactly who she was in the quiet moments when nobody else was looking. And that, she had learned, was the only audience that really mattered. In loving memory of authenticity, may we find our way back to truth,